Now that we've established that frames use MAC addresses for local delivery, it raises an important question. If applications and routing decisions rely on IP addresses, how does a device discover the MAC address if it needs to build a frame? This module, we're going to explore ARP, Address Resolution Protocol, and how devices translate logical IP addresses into physical MAC addresses on your local network. So let's pause for a moment and notice the gap. Applications think in IP addresses. Routing decisions are made using IP addresses, but when it's time to actually send the frame across a local link, the link layer needs a MAC address. Here's the key tension. The IP packet does not automatically include that MAC address of the next hop. That information has to be discovered locally. ARP exists specifically to solve this translation problem. This is one of those moments where the layered model shows its elegance. Each layer does its job, but occasionally they need a small bridge between them. ARP maps an IP address to a MAC address within the local network segment. If your device knows the IP address of its router but does not know the router's MAC address, it cannot build a frame. So ARP sends the broadcast request asking essentially, hey, who has this IP address? And the device with that IP responds with the MAC address. The mapping is then stored in a local ARP table for a very limited time. ARP is local, temporary, and practical, but it does not scale globally, and it's not meant to. An ARP request is sent as a broadcast frame. That means its destination MAC address is all one's broadcast address. Each device on the LAN receives it, but only the device whose IP matches the requested address is actually going to respond. Everyone else ignores it. Think of it like standing in a room and asking, who here has 8.192.168.1.1? Everyone hears the question, and hopefully only one person actually raises their hand. The reply is not a broadcast. It's sent directly back to the requester as a unicast frame. Inside that reply is the MAC address corresponding to the requested IP address. The requesting device then updates the ARP table, storing the mapping for future use. This prevents unnecessary repeated broadcasts and keeps the traffic very efficient. ARP is simple, but it's absolutely essential for local communication. You have to remember that each device maintains its own ARP table. These entries are not permanent and they expire after a set period of time. Then your next question is usually, okay, why do they expire? Because networks change. Devices disconnect, addresses can shift. By aging out entries, the system avoids relying on stale information. Think of DHCP and how many times you've unplugged and replugged in the same computer. This balance between caching and refreshing keeps ARP lightweight and pretty much adaptive. The nice thing about ARP is that it runs quietly in the background and you rarely see it, if ever. But every time you connect a new device to your LAN, ARP is actually run first. It supports routing indirectly by enabling local delivery step. Without ARP, your device would know the next IP address, but have no way of actually constructing the frame to communicate with it. Applications never interact with ARP directly. It operates beneath them, ensuring that higher layer communication can actually proceed pretty smoothly. ARP was designed for simplicity, not for security. It does not authenticate responses. This makes it vulnerable to spoofing, where a malicious device falsely claims ownership of an IP address. ARP spoofing can redirect traffic, it enables man-in-the-middle attacks, and modern networks mitigate these risks using techniques like dynamic ARP inspection and segmentation. Understanding ARP is not just academic. You need to remember that. It's directly tied to real-world security practices, which you are learning right now in these courses. So in this module, we examine how devices resolve the gap between logical IP addressing and physical MAC delivery, how ARP enables the device to discover the MAC address needed to construct that frame. Through a broadcast request and unicast replies, devices dynamically learn local mappings and cache them temporarily, and this mechanism allows the layered architecture of a network to function smoothly at scale.